Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into The Rise of Superman by Stephen Kotler. This book offers a fascinating look at how athletes in extreme sports achieve seemingly impossible feats through accessing a state known as flow, or being in the zone. Kotler, an award-winning journalist and co-founder of the Flow Genome Project, combines thrilling sports narratives with cutting-edge science to explore how these peak experiences can dramatically enhance performance and potentially transform our understanding of human potential. The Rise of Superman is essential reading, not only for those engaged in extreme sports, but also for anyone eager to explore how the principles of flow could be applied to their own lives. Additionally, with Kotler's deep dive into the neurology behind flow, this book is a compelling read for anyone fascinated by the intersecting worlds of neuroscience and human behavior. Whether you are a sports enthusiast, a neuroscientist, or simply someone interested in personal and professional development, The Rise of Superman provides both inspiration and insights into pushing the limits of what we believe is possible. Join us as we explore how achieving flow could transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. The Rise of Superman, Decoding the Science of Ultimate Human Performance. Introduction: Unlocking the Secrets of Peak Performance. Learn from extreme athletes. How do the elite athletes in extreme sports manage to repeatedly accomplish feats that seem to defy the limits of human capability? And more intriguingly, how do they survive these high stakes? It's not about supernatural abilities or extraterrestrial origins, but something deeply rooted in the science of the mind. This exploration delves into the concept known as the flow state, a mental state where individuals experience heightened focus, efficiency, and performance. Often referred to as being in the zone, this condition is the secret ingredient behind the astonishing performances of extreme athletes. Throughout this narrative, we will explore the intriguing neurology behind the flow state and its profound impact not only on athletic performance but also on the experience of deeply enriching spiritual moments. But how does one unlock this state? Prepare to discover how athletes mentally prime themselves to achieve flow regularly. Notably, we will examine an event sparked by a mere $2 wager, which led to the birth of one of the wildest extreme sports known today. Moreover, learn about a 12-year-old prodigy who accomplished tricks once believed to be beyond human reach, highlighting the vast potential of young minds when equipped with the flow state's power. In this exploration, you're invited to uncover the methods and mental strategies used by extreme athletes that enable them to access this peak state of consciousness, leading to unparalleled performance in their fields. Part 1. Flow: The Art of Peak Performance and Spiritual Connection. Have you ever found yourself so deeply immersed in an activity that everything else around you simply disappears? This phenomenon, where every action and thought align seamlessly, transcending ordinary capabilities, is known as being in the zone or entering a flow state. It's not just about enhanced productivity. Flow has a mystical, almost spiritual quality that enriches our inner lives. Flow is a special state of consciousness where we perform and feel our best, and it's accessible to everyone, whether you're an artist, a writer, or an athlete. Notably, it amplifies our creativity, enabling us to solve complex problems in innovative ways. Take, for instance, Laird Hamilton, a big wave surfer whose legendary encounter with Tahiti's monstrous Millennium Wave illustrates flow's power. As the massive wave threatened to crush him against a reef, Hamilton made an unprecedented move. By strategically placing his hands on the opposite side of his surfboard and submerging them into the water, he counteracted the wave's pull. This spontaneous, creative maneuver, born out of flow, was pivotal in his survival, something that had never been attempted before. Additionally, flow often evokes a profound spiritual experience. Those who have entered this state describe encounters with what they refer to as the voice, a guiding intuition or inner wisdom that emerges only during such peak moments. Dean Potter, a renowned climber, vividly recounts his ascent of the formidable Fitzroy Mountain, attributing his route's 670 perfect, life-preserving decisions to this profound inner guidance. Facing a vertical ice wall equivalent to 3 Chrysler buildings stacked on top of each other, Potter relied solely on the voice, as any misstep could have been fatal. Beyond enhancing creativity and spiritual experiences, flow also leads to a phenomenon known as ego loss. Athletes in this state often experience a dissolution of self, merging with the activity itself. Surfers, for instance, describe feeling at one with the ocean waves, transcending their individual existence and becoming part of something larger. In exploring these intense and enlightening experiences, flow reveals itself not just as a mental state for optimal performance, but as a gateway to discovering our deepest potential and connecting with the world in ways we never imagined possible. Part 2. The neurochemical foundation of flow state. Experiencing flow is often equated to a deeply spiritual state, yet it's firmly grounded in the realm of neurochemistry. When immersed in a flow state, our brain releases a specific cocktail of chemicals that not only enhance our performance, but also enrich our emotional experiences. Here's a breakdown of these pivotal neurochemicals. Firstly, dopamine plays a crucial role. This chemical sharpens our focus, enhancing our ability to perceive and connect ideas and solve problems innovatively. As we navigate through a sea of constant information, dopamine helps filter out the noise, enabling us to focus on what truly matters. It also feeds into our sense of pleasure and motivation, rewarding exploratory and engaged behaviors with feelings of excitement and satisfaction. Next, we have norepinephrine, which is essential for sustaining focus and elevating abilities. It boosts energy by increasing blood sugar levels and enhances physical readiness by accelerating the heart rate and breathing, preparing the body for extended exertion. On a mental level, norepinephrine enhances alertness and emotional control, keeping us dialed into the task at hand. Moreover, anandamide contributes by fostering creativity. Aptly named after the Sanskrit word for bliss, anandamide helps generate new connections between seemingly unrelated concepts, a process known as lateral thinking. Additionally, it lowers fear responses, which encourages us to act on creative ideas without hesitation. Not to be overlooked, endorphins provide significant pain relief, a feature particularly beneficial to athletes pushing through physical limits. Remarkably effective, the most common endorphin produced during flow is up to 100 times more potent than medical morphine. Finally, serotonin helps seal the flow experience with a satisfying afterglow. This feel-good chemical leaves us with a serene, content feeling long after the flow state has ended, reinforcing the desire to return to this peak state. Together, these chemicals not only boost our performance but also make the flow state an intensely pleasurable and inherently addictive experience. This profound blend of neurochemicals explains why activities that induce flow are so compelling and why individuals consistently seek to re-enter this optimal state. Part 3. Enhance performance through brain deactivation, the paradox of flow states. Contrary to what one might expect, achieving peak performance isn't about supercharging all our brain activities. In the mysterious and all-consuming state of flow, certain parts of our brain are actually less active, which paradoxically leads to heightened capabilities. This phenomenon, known as transient hypofrontality, involves the temporary deactivation of the prefrontal cortex, the brain region associated with higher cognitive functions like complex analysis and decision-making. During flow states, this area takes a back seat. Researchers have pinpointed that during activities demanding intense focus and immediate response, ranging from complex card games to extreme mountain climbing, the superior frontal gyrus starts to power down. This part of the brain is crucial for self-awareness and systematic thinking. Additionally, The orientation adjustment area, which helps us understand our physical position in space relative to surrounding objects, also slows its activity. This reduction is what potentially leads to the profound feeling of becoming one with the activity or the environment, whether it's merging with the waves during surfing or feeling at one with the universe in deep meditation. But what advantages does this brain downshifting bring to performance? Interestingly, when our self-monitoring brain regions quiet down, our self-consciousness diminishes. We become less critical of our impulses, less likely to second-guess our decisions, and more open to novel ideas. This mental state not only reduces the fear of failure, but encourages a more liberated approach to problem solving. In extreme sports or critical survival situations, this aspect of flow becomes incredibly beneficial. When faced with life-threatening decisions, the usual cautious deliberations of the prefrontal cortex would be too slow. The need for rapid, creative, and instinctive reactions becomes imperative, and flow provides just that by sidelining the normally dominant parts of our brain. Thus, by understanding and harnessing the power of flow states, where specific brain activities are suppressed, we can enhance creativity and response times in crucial situations, revealing a fascinating interplay between less brain activity and more performance capability. Part 4. Mastering Flow. Engage fully with passionate pursuits and set attainable goals. Once you've experienced the exhilarating performance boost that comes from being in flow, it's natural to wonder how you can access this state more frequently. Achieving flow requires meeting several vital conditions that intertwine deeply with the nature of the activities you choose and your approach to them. The first and perhaps most important condition is intrinsic motivation. The activity must be rewarding in and of itself. Take long-distance running, for example. If you're passionate about running, simply completing a run provides a sense of personal fulfillment and joy. This intrinsic reward is crucial because it forms the foundation for all other elements required to achieve flow. Next, achieving a deep level of concentration is essential. Total immersion in the task at hand, such as focusing solely on your breathing or the rhythm of your steps while running, helps shut out external distractions and irrelevant thoughts. This intense focus is what allows you to slip into the flow state. Moreover, the challenge presented by the task should be finely tuned, demanding enough to engage you fully, but not so difficult as to be discouraging. The rule of thumb here is aiming for tasks that are about 4% more challenging than your current skill level. This could mean running just a bit farther or faster than usual, pushing you gently beyond your comfort zone without causing frustration. Lastly, maintaining flow requires clear, achievable goals. These should be distinct from broader life objectives and focus on immediate achievements that can continually redirect your focus. For instance, while training for a marathon, instead of dwelling solely on the distant goal of finishing the race, setting smaller, manageable goals such as reaching the next mile marker or maintaining a consistent pace can keep your engagement high. Understanding and implementing these conditions can transform activities you love into perfect opportunities for experiencing flow, enhancing both your performance and your enjoyment of the task. Whether it's through running, painting, or any other passion, mastering the art of flow allows you to tap into extraordinary potential with every focused moment. Part 5. The Power of Mindset in Achieving Peak Performance. Why do certain individuals reach astounding heights of performance while others, seemingly with similar talents, do not? The key often lies not in natural ability, but in the mindset embraced by these top performers. The concept of a fixed mindset holds that talent and intelligence are static gifts. They are what we are born with and remain largely unchangeable. Those who subscribe to this belief perceive their capabilities as finite. As a result, when faced with extraordinary achievements, whether in rock climbing, freediving, or any elite field, they may find themselves thinking, "I could never do that," or "I just don't have that kind of talent." This fixed perspective can place a significant cap on personal and professional growth. It creates a mental barrier where individuals no longer strive for improvement. convinced that their efforts might be in vain since their skill set is predetermined and limited. On the flip side, embracing a growth mindset can be transformative. This viewpoint sees skills and talents not as fixed traits, but as qualities that can be developed through dedication and hard work. It's a belief in the potential for fundamental growth that fuels performers to reach and even expand their known limits. The impact of this mindset extends beyond mere belief. It influences actual performance. In an eye-opening experiment involving 40 of the world's top race car drivers, researchers explored how mindset affects competitive outcomes and the ability to enter flow states, those moments of heightened focus and absorption where peak performance unfolds naturally. Drivers who maintained a growth mindset didn't just cope better with the challenges and setbacks of racing. They also entered flow states more easily and emerged as the top performers, even among an elite group. Their openness to learning and improvement allowed them to adapt swiftly and turn potential failures into learning opportunities, enhancing their overall performance. Adopting a growth mindset unleashes the potential to exceed perceived limits and continuously refine one's skills, setting the stage not only for better performance, but also for ongoing personal development and success. Part 6. Strengthen performance through community, the social dimension of flow. While individual ability and mindset are critical in achieving a state of flow, surrounding yourself with a community that shares your passion can dramatically enhance this experience and lead to sustained peak performance. The power of community goes beyond mere camaraderie. It taps into our neurological responses and enriches our ability to achieve and maintain the flow state. Neurologically, when we engage in activities that trigger flow, our brains release chemicals that not only boost our performance but also strengthen our social connections. These neurochemicals foster bonds that transcend ordinary social and cultural boundaries. For instance, climbers who face challenging ascents together feel a profound connection afterwards, regardless of their different backgrounds or beliefs. This bonding is driven by shared intense experiences, not by shared personal histories or ideologies. Moreover, being part of a community that shares your passion provides essential emotional support. Performing remarkable feats in isolation might lead one to dismiss these achievements as mere luck. However, in a community setting, each milestone is recognized and celebrated, reinforcing self-belief and motivating further efforts. This validation is crucial. It converts solitary pursuits into a shared journey of continual improvement and accomplishment. Communities also create environments where pushing boundaries becomes a collective endeavor. The culture within these groups often cultivates a healthy competitiveness and a safe space to explore the limits of what's possible. An intriguing example of this dynamic is found in the early days of bungee jumping. A group from Primal House constantly challenged each other with escalating bungee stunts, each trying to outdo the others for a symbolic $2 bill. This friendly competition didn't just stay with bungee jumping, it evolved into more complex forms, such as double ski base jumping. Here, participants would ski off a cliff, deploy their parachutes to base jump, and then continue skiing. This evolution of activity showcases how community can drive innovation and mastery in a sport. By fostering a shared space of encouragement and challenge, communities propel their members not just to meet existing standards but to set new ones, advancing both individual and collective capacities. This synergy not only makes achieving flow more accessible but also more impactful, leading to extraordinary levels of performance and fulfillment. Part 7. Exploring the mind's power, the path to optimal performance. Imagine being asked how to build muscle mass. The immediate thoughts likely involve physical exercise and dietary changes. But what if the mind could influence physical strength just as effectively? This intriguing concept shifts our focus from the physical to the psychological, underscoring the mind's extraordinary capabilities. Our understanding of the mind is expanding, revealing its significant impact on achieving what we often assume requires physical action alone. Consider a fascinating experiment that explored the effects of visualization on physical strength. Participants were divided into three groups: those who engaged in no special activity, those who physically trained, and those who merely visualized performing strength exercises. Expectedly, the group that trained physically showed notable improvement. However, astonishingly, those who practiced only mental visualization exercises also experienced up to a 35% increase in muscle strength. This outcome highlights the potent influence of the mind in physical realms. Moreover, the continual advancement of technology offers deeper insights into the mechanisms through which our neurology impacts performance. Tools like functional magnetic resonance, imaging, fMRI, and electroencephalography, EEG, are instrumental in this exploration. These technologies allow scientists to observe blood flow and electrical activity in the brain, providing a detailed understanding of what happens neurologically when we enter states like flow. The evolving accessibility and user-friendliness of these technologies mean that they're not just confined to laboratories anymore. For instance, portable EEG devices, such as BrainSport, provide the flexibility for athletes to undergo brain monitoring outside traditional settings, enabling real-time data collection during actual training and performance scenarios. These advancements are building a robust database on flow and its triggers, refining our grasp of how to deliberately enter this state. The more we learn about the brain's functioning through scientific inquiry and technological innovation, the better equipped we become to harness the full potential of our minds for peak performance. This merging of cognitive science and practical application marks a promising direction in our quest to unlock the secrets of optimal performance through the power of the mind. Part 8: Raising the Bar, the Evolution of Human Performance. As each year unfolds, humanity continually surpasses previous limits, setting new benchmarks in what we consider achievable. This perpetual advancement isn't just about physical capabilities. It's also a testament to our growing understanding of human potential, often illustrated through the phenomenon known as the Roger Bannister effect. Historically, the 4-minute mile was viewed as an unachievable goal, a barrier too tough to break. That was until 1954, when Roger Bannister ran a mile in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. This achievement didn't just set a new record, it shattered a psychological barrier, changing global perceptions about the limits of human speed. Remarkably, his record was soon surpassed, and within a decade, even a high school student had run a 4-minute mile, proving that once a limitation is breached, it sets a precedent that empowers others to follow and even exceed. This effect transcends athletics, influencing successive generations who benefit from the accumulated knowledge and achievements of their predecessors. Consider Tony Hawk, a skateboarding legend, who in 1999 astounded the world by landing the first ever 900 trick at age 31. Fast forward to 2012, Tom Shah, only 12 years old, successfully executed a 1080. Shah's feat wasn't just a function of his skill, but also of his environment. He grew up seeing what others before him had achieved and went a step further. What Shah had was what newer generations increasingly possess: a foundation built not only on the achievements of those before them, but also on a growing repository of knowledge about peak performance and flow states. This knowledge, combined with an environment that repeatedly breaks past limits, fosters a mindset conducive to reaching and surpassing what was previously deemed impossible. As we continue to push the boundaries of what's achievable, it's evident that the only limit is the one we set for ourselves. With each breakthrough, we expand our collective belief in human potential, ensuring that successive achievements are not only possible but likely. The continuing evolution of this dynamic, enriched by deeper insights into performance psychology, promises that future feats will not only match but exceed our wildest expectations. Final summary. The central theme of this exploration is the concept of flow, a peak state of consciousness where individuals perform at their optimal level, Far from being a mystical or elusive state, flow is deeply grounded in science, specifically our neurochemistry. Understanding and harnessing flow allows for achievements that were once considered impossible. Flow is integral to pushing human capabilities to new heights. As we unravel more about how flow states impact our minds and bodies, our potential for performing extraordinary feats continues to expand. This knowledge empowers us not only to achieve personal bests in various endeavors, but also to elevate the collective human potential to unprecedented levels. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.